Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are already subscribed, thank you. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also activate your notifications so that you get a notification when I upload my next video. Today's video is on how I do my brows. I will give you guys a list of all the products that I use and where I get them from, and then I'll show you guys how I actually do my brows. So let's get into it. The first product that I use is this disposable mascara wand. I buy these in a pack of about 10 or 20 at Discam. And you can use this, you can use a spoolie brush. Any brush that basically looks like this will brush your brow really well. But you can also use an old toothbrush. I mean, that's what I used when I first started doing my brows. And then I brush out my brows with this frame eyebrow wax from Isabella Garcia. Now I use this because my brows are really coarse, so I need something just to make them fine and be able to have them laid, otherwise they're just gonna look bushy. And then to fill my brows, I use this Essence eyebrow stylist set that looks like this. And I also got this from Discam. Sure, I got it years ago. I've had this for a really long time. It doesn't even have a lid anymore. This is actually a brow powder. So I use this brow powder because it gives it a little bit of a more natural look as opposed to like a drawn brow. But it's honestly preference. If your hand draws your brow nicely with a pencil without making it look too drawn, that also works really well. But I prefer to use the powder because my brows are thick anyway. I use this very old angled brush that I got somewhere in the house, I think. So I use that to put my brow powder on. And then I use the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer in the shade Cool Tan. And I use this to clean up my brows together with this angled brush. And I get this angled brush is from Isabella Garcia as well. One day I'll tell you guys about my entanglement with Isabella Garcia, but that's a story for another day. And then I use this brush. I got this from Discam as well. It's actually an eyeshadow brush, but I find that because the bristles are really dense and they firm, it actually blends out the concealer on my eyes really well. The brand is called Cala, C-A-L-A, however you choose to say it, but they're at Discount. And then I also use this eyebrow pencil from Essence, which I know a lot of people use as well, in the color Hot Chocolate. And I use this because while you're doing your brows, there's parts where you mess up a bit or you need to just fine-tune something on the edge of your brow. So I find that it's easier to do that with the pencil than to do that with the powder because the pencil is finer. So I keep this pencil just for when a bit later on, once I'm cleaning out my brows, if I need to neaten something up, I use this pencil. But you don't have to do that. I just find that it's easier to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. If you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, and please comment below. But first you go in with your spoolie brush and brush out your brows. Then you dip your spoolie brush in your brow wax, or you can use soap as I've seen some people do, and brush your brows in an up and outward motion. Then you take your small angled brush, dip it in your brow powder, and you begin to line the bottom of your brow from beginning right to the end of the tail, making sure that at the beginning you're only lightly putting in your powder and going darker as you go towards the end. Then you can move your brush upwards as you fill in your brush, making sure to go in the direction of your brow hairs so that your look stays natural looking. Just be aware that at this point your brows aren't going to look amazing. This is because you're still packing on brow powder and it's not really blended well. So for now it's okay because you're still going to go in with your concealer and clean everything up. It takes quite a while for your hand to get used to the motion of drawing your brows, so I would suggest that you practice every day. After watching whatever brow tutorial that you watch, practice every day so that your hand actually gets used to the motion of drawing your brows. So go in with your spoolie brush just to brush out brows. I try to do that at every step because whenever you add on a new product, you need to just brush out your brows so it's still blending with whatever product you've added. Now I'll go in with my angled brush and my concealer, and I lightly line the bottom of my brow, starting from beginning all the way to the tail. Now at this stage you need to make sure you don't put on too much product, as it makes it a bit difficult when you have to blend out. So put your product as lightly as possible, just as long as you're getting a straight line at the edge of your brow. Again, this motion also requires your hand to get used to it. Now you start to brush your concealer down. This is just to push the product away from your brow. It makes it easier when you're blending it out. Now you go in the top of your brow with your concealer. You can use the same shade or you can go a shade darker. If you know how to blend your brow well, you can get away with using the same shade. But if you're not comfortable with that yet, rather use a darker shade of concealer. Now I just need to go in and fix something with my pencil. Like I said earlier on, it helps to use a pencil just to fix things because the pencil is a little bit more fine and you can correct things with it. Remember that it's never too late to correct something on your brow. Just make sure you have all your things handy. You can always go back with the pencil or go back with the concealer if you draw something wrong. Doing the same thing on the right hand side. Remember that our brows are not the same, so a lot of the time the right hand side or the left hand side will be slightly more difficult for you to do depending on what hand you use on a daily basis. So just get your brows looking as close as possible, but don't stress yourself out about getting them looking exactly the same. It hardly ever happens. Again, I'm going to go in with my pencil, correct a few things. Remember that your brow must look as natural as possible. So in the beginning of your brow, don't draw a square. It needs to blend out and look ombre. Now I take my eyeshadow brush, which I use to blend out my concealer, and I blend. The key word to having a flawless makeup look is blending. So never shy away from blending too much, because that's what's going to make your makeup look as natural as possible. So blend out your eyeshadow, your concealer with your brush, and what it does as well on the eyelid is that it works out as a nice eyeshadow base, so your color can pop when you put your eyeshadow on. So just blend it out onto your eyelid, and you can go in with a sponge if you need to. You can go in with a beauty blender if you need to, just to get all that excess product moved away. If you're going to use a foundation after this, it makes it a bit easier because that'll cover whatever's left. But if you're not going to use any foundation afterwards, then you definitely need to blend it out. I obviously am doing a full look after this, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to do my brows. So while you're blending out, just check that everything is even as possible, and go in and remove any excess product. Then once you're happy with how your brows look, check that they're decent, go in again with your spoolie brush one last time, just for luck. Looking good, looking good. And that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please comment below and let me know what you think. I'll leave a list of the products in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed my video, and thank you for watching.